Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we're here for Kamen Rider Geats episode 44. And majority of this episode is really just a bunch of action. It's really just a bunch of fights and a really big realization that KY has just like kind of realized. He doesn't I guess he realizes it, but he's just sort of ignoring it, which is dumb. But we see that KY is like steadily drowning more and more into the darkness that he has basically put himself in, and it's so stupid. I hate he's being strung along by these two freaking selfish idiots known as Beroba and Kikera. But Kikera gets her butt whooped in this episode, rightfully so, by Miss Neon, and I loved it. Her new form is absolutely dope. I mean, it's basically it's still her dad's form, but it's still her dad's form, but it looks better than her. It looks better on her than Beat, her her other main form that she was always using. But yeah, this episode, she kind of handled we see that Neon basically handled everything that she had with her parents, her mom and her dad, basically showing her genuine love, and that's the genuine love was really what she needed to be able to transform again. Seeing that her dad ends up having to go to the hospital after he was able to beat back Beroba. It's three B's. Beat back Beroba and the other guy, the bat dude, who he was fighting. But he ends up he's basically really hurt, and he ends up going to the hospital. Her mom ends up getting there, and they both go in to talk to him at the same time. And they have their heart-to-heart talks. They have their condolences, and well, not condolences, no one died, but basically have their heart-to-heart and stuff like that, and basically gives her the inspiration to be able to go out and fight again, or be able to try and henshin again. But we did see that Buffer did talk to Geats about basically there was a way, because of how he talked to Daichi. Buffer basically finds out that there was a way to bring back Sarah. There was a real, like, genuine way to bring back Sarah and all the other people that Daichi had essentially captured and put into that tree. But since KY ended up using that wish and basically remaking the world, the tree is gone, and there's really that way of getting them back is gone now. And he botched his own wish, and he botched the way of getting them back, which was so freaking stupid. We see that Jit basically tells him that Geats, well, he tells also the Sumidi that the more allies that Geats has, the stronger his god powers basically is, and the stronger it is, then the more they won't be able to like turn Sumidi into a goddess. And we see that Sumidi is still kind of holding on to her humanity, as she's still slowly becoming a goddess of creation, but she's still holding on to what little humanity she has within her, and that's what's keeping her transformation to like basically slow down. So they realize if they defeat Geats, then maybe her holding on to that, like, holding on to her belief in Geats will eventually go away. And we see that Buffer ends up going to Tycoon's hideout, little gang hideout. While that's happening, we see he's beating up a bunch of guys, and Tycoon is talking with Beroba and Kikera, and we see that they tell him that they kidnapped Neon, and she was able to transform and stuff like that. But that's at the end. But we see they end up kidnapping her, and they're basically telling him that, oh, well, it's okay, because this is all part of the thing. If you act this way or do certain things, you'll get your wish. If you're an effed up individual, hey, you'll get your wish. And he's essentially like, nah, I don't. He's like, they're telling him, use your power, yo. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. And Kay was like, I don't take orders from y'all. And You see that KY see he goes and sees what Buffer's doing. Buffer is basically beating up a bunch of his people, and we see that Buffer basically tells him that yeah, there was a way to get your sister back. There was a way to get her back, but you messed up the world. And now that you messed up the world, then there's no real way to get her back. But he's like, I don't care about. He's basically like, I don't care about what Geats is trying to do. I don't care about Geats' little world that he's trying to build. I'm going to save my parents my own way. And he ends up he ends up fighting Buffer for a while. He takes out Buffer. And after Buffer is basically beaten, we see that Buffer tries to talk to him and says, "What happened?" Same thing what Subity said earlier in the episode, but what happened to the person who wanted the entire world to be happy? Where's the person who wanted world peace? And he's like, what point is there having world peace if I can't be happy, if I don't get what I want? And his new wish now again is to just bring back his family. He doesn't care what happens to the world. He doesn't care about anything else. He just wants to bring back his family, which yes, I understand, but the way Kawa is going about it, he is completely like too far gone. He is too far gone. And you see that Buffer did say, I'm going to drag you back by force, and drag him back. Basically Buffer's trying to bring him back to his old self, and that's what we see in next week's episode. That's what it's going to be. But we also saw how like next episode is going to be like a movie tie-in. We see that we saw the evil Geats 9, the black and blue dude, and it's gonna be kind of weird because like how much of the movie is gonna be put in this, like how much of the we see that episode 46 is, or episode 45, you know, it's gonna tie in with the movie, but that's gonna be happening after the movie. So like how much of the movie is gonna be tied in with the actual like series? I don't get it. But we see that now that Neon has gotten her new inspiration and stuff like that. She ends up her dad ends up giving her his ID core. He gives her ID core and his belt, and she goes, and we see that Beroba is basically starting to attack the hospital that they're all in. So that's when she goes out to go fight her. When she goes out to go fight her, she ends up She ends up using her dad's ID core after, but we found out ID cores don't, ID cores don't work like that. You really can't use anyone else's ID core. So she ends up using basically she says that Beroba says that you think you can use somebody else's ID core and stuff like that, like you can't do that. And she's trying to really make Neon feel this misery and whatever, but the irony later on you'll see. But she ends up telling her that you can't use someone else's ID core, and she's like, well, she said, yeah, I will be able to use it if I just wish hard enough for it. And she ends up wishing, and ends up the ID core basically transforms into her rider symbol, and she ends up transforming into her fantasy form, which is really cool. She has like this ability where she's able to like phase in and out of things. Like Beroba basically can't even hit her. She has like a phase ability, and she's the camera angles and stuff like this were really cool in this. Like the way the cinematography worked in this fight scene of her fighting Beroba, actually like complete like top notch. It was peak, and I don't even like using. I don't even like saying that. I don't even like saying that corny stuff. But hey, it was peak. I said it again. Probably most likely I'll try not to do it again if you're cringing. But yeah, so she ends up defeating Beroba with her amazing like rider kick. Also in this form, she's able to summon like swords, like these blue energy swords. She's able to phase in and out things. She's also really fast. Like this form's top notch. She gets into like a cat pose when she does it. It's really dope. I really enjoy that. But yeah, she ends up defeating Beroba, and Beroba is walking in the alley and stuff like that. She's bleeding, she's hurt real bad, and that's when Buffer comes up and tells her, like, he says, oh well, I guess you now you're feeling your own like misery. And she looks into like this broken mirror, and like her face is bloody and things like that. She's like, nah, I don't play that. I don't play by my own misery or whatever. But then it may this right here may signify that Beroba is basically done, because like done in this world, because her initial wish was to feel the ultimate misery. And it might be like a little thing now where it's like she's felt the ultimate misery, but now the misery that she's feeling is her own. So most likely, now that she's felt this, maybe maybe this might be the end of Beroba. Maybe. I don't think so off rip. But maybe it is the end of Beroba. If it is, good riddance. She got her butt kicked and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe she might have one more fight with Neon, if maybe. But yeah, defeating Beroba. Beroba felt that misery. Beroba leaves. Buffa just leaves her there in rain and whatever. And now that, and we see Kekera talking with Tycoon, basically telling him that I think he said that Beroba was done in by Neon, and he says Neon was able to transform, and he was like, yeah, and she's actually stronger. And he said things turning Sumidi into a, creating God's creation, that turning Sumidi into the God's creation won't happen now, since if Geats gets more allies. And yeah, we see that Keiwa says I'm gonna defeat Geats regardless of that. And yeah, the episode basically is off right there. And we did see how we got a little snippet that with Neon talking with Geats, and she said that you were the one that gave me the power to transform again, weren't you? And he was like, yeah, I did, but I didn't do it alone. He said your parents' wishes were able to give me the power to give you the power to transform. And yeah, so I'm glad Geats played a role. He played a role in giving Neon back her powers, and now Neon is back full throttle. And we next up to get their ultimate form will be Buffa, and I'm really looking forward to that form. That form is going to be freaking crazy. Like I'm really looking forward to this, man. Like he deserves like an actual form. I mean, he did kind of get another form before, but it was basically just his base form with a cape and like full on and like ultimate, and like he was like invincible powers and stuff. But other than that, like an actual form where he actually is gonna look different, stuff like that, I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, this episode, I just hate that Kay was going down this road and he's being tangled along by these people. Like he's really just hit his selfish arc. And sometimes it's okay to be selfish sometimes, but this right here, this is excessive. This is really bad. Like I don't see like this ending well for Keiwa. I do see Keiwa like really getting his butt kicked by Geats later. I don't know. I just see that in his future. I see him getting his butt kicked by Geats, and I don't think Geats is gonna overall like mollywop him or whatever, but this fight is gonna be dope, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm ready to see the conversations that happen within this fight, like how impactful this fight is actually going to be. But yeah, you guys let me know down there in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Kamen Rider Geats. What do you think is next for Keiwa? What do you think? How do you think the next fight gonna go? How much of the movie you think is gonna tie in with the rest of the series, with the rest of the actual show going on right now? But yeah, I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As remember, as I always say, stay henshined.